Alastair, welcome back to Highlands.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for doing dinner tonight.
Absolute pleasure.
Huge sold-out event, so we are delighted. You have had an amazing career. You've been at the heart of politics, you're a prolific novelist, and you've now got this almost new chapter with, you know, an award-winning top of the podcast charts every week. One of the things we do at Inverness Chamber of Commerce is run developing the young workforce, which is about getting young people into a career, introducing them to employers, etc. What advice would you give young people? And if they wanted to get into journalism or politics, are the routes you followed, are they still open?
I talk in lots of schools, and I always say that if you'd have said to me when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, even into my 20s, that I would be a journalist, I wouldn't have thought of that back then, that I would work for a prime minister, that I'd go to over 100 countries, meet some of the people I've met. I'd have said, well, that's not going to happen. So the first thing I say is just don't rule out stuff. Don't cut your options down. But then I say, if you do know what you want to do, have the confidence to go and find the people that can help you open the doors to that. Now that might be formal routes through education, but I think we all know that sometimes it is about actually finding the person that knows the system, that is going to mentor and sponsor you and help you to try to get through those doors. And you know, I do that with quite a lot of young people. You can't take on everybody that comes to you saying, can you give me a bit of a hand? But I think it's important that people who have been able to proceed through life in a successful way, that you understand that part of the responsibility then is to try and help other people, you know, try to do what they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And just sticking with young people, you've written so many books, but recently you've written books about politics for children. Why is that important, and was it easy, or was the discipline of getting into their language difficult?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I wrote a book called But What Can I Do?, which was about, well, the subtitle said why politics has gone so wrong and what you can do to fix it. And that was aimed at an adult market, but particularly I think at people who felt they wanted to make change. And then it was another publisher who came and said, listen, this is great, but why don't you think about writing it specifically towards young people? So the two books that I've written, in fact I've literally just finished the second one this morning. The first one's for primary schools and the second one for senior schools and young adults. Why do I think it's important? Because I actually think that we are terribly ill-informed in this country about politics. If you think that the day after the Brexit referendum, the most Googled question in Britain was, what is the European Union? When you think that the level of discourse inside politics, let alone the level of discourse about politics outside politics, I think sometimes is terrifyingly badly informed. So I think it's about trying to get across to young people that politics really matters, that it's interesting, that it can be fun, but above all, unless we all get engaged and involved in it, it's just going to carry on being what we've seen in recent years, which frankly at the UK level in particular has been a complete and total disaster.
Do you think it's better in other countries?
I think a lot depends on the personalities of the people who get to the top. I think we've really suffered by the fact that somebody as amoral as Johnson and somebody as utterly unsuited as Truss to become Prime Minister, I think has done us a lot of damage. It'll take a while to undo it. But then you look at Trump in the United States, you look at Modi in India, who's turning the place into this kind of, you know, Hindu nationalist kind of mega personal empire almost. You look at Putin, but then I look at other people. I actually think Macron's been a good president of France, even though he's less popular than he was now. The fact that Donald Tusk has just won in Poland. You've got good people. There are good people in politics, but I think we've been through a really, really bad period, and I hope that a change of government, if there is a change of government when there's a general election, I hope that a change of government will really lead to huge change on the political front. But I think it's going to take more than a change of government. I think it's going to take everybody to understand, you know, we're in a bit of a mess and we've all got to think about how we get out of that.
Yeah, but a change of government won't necessarily get engagement levels up.
Will or won't?
Won't.
No, I think the engagement point. You see, I would do much more on the engagement point, and I don't think this will happen. But I'd like to see. Well, I know you've got the lower voting age here, 16. I'd like to see that right across the country, even younger actually. Just I'd like to see compulsory voting. I'd like to see proper political education in schools. Unless you do politics once you're over 16, you don't learn about politics in schools. So how do people learn about? How do people even understand what politics is, how it works? So we've got to have a change of culture about our politics.